recreating the canopy in which Charlie Kirk sat under when he was assassinated for stage photo ops? Maybe one of the worst judgment calls I have ever seen in my entire life. Whoever approved that idea either completely misread the moment or ignored basic human optics. Are you ready for facts? Unfiltered, unbiased, uncensored. The Joe Rossano Show is next. Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. Hi, I am Joe Rossano. Dare I say, let's rock. My dearest friends and fellow Americans, this is a follow-up episode many of you asked for, and thank you very much for that. And before we can go any further, let me be crystal clear. I am not making accusations. I am reporting what people are saying online and why these questions keep on coming. In the last episode, we talked about optics, behavior, and contradictions. Today, we go deeper into the claims that remain unproven but persistent. And when claims don't go away, people start asking why. One of the most talked about points involves a location called Fort Huachuca. According to online claims, Erika Kirk may have been there on September 8th. Then something strange happened. An alibi was reportedly produced for September 9th. The problem is September 9th was not the day in question. So people ask, why was an alibi prepared for the wrong darn day? And why would anyone think they needed an alibi before a crime had even occurred? Now, I watch a lot of the Investigation Discovery Channel. I just love that detective, Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Now, when detectives ask suspects this question, where were you the night of September 8th? Me, personally, I have no idea where I was on September 8th. When people say, well, I was at the drive-in movie or I was fixing my car in my garage, I always say to myself, by golly, you have a great memory. It's almost like you felt that you needed an alibi. They are questions people are asking. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. And the hits just keep on coming. The appearance of Nicki Minaj at an event tied to Charlie Kirk, despite Charlie Kirk previously stating she was not a role model for the youth. Contradiction, raised eyebrows. It does not prove anything, but contradictions always fuel speculation. More recently, footage has been circulated allegedly showing Erika Kirk discussing EMPs, electromagnetic pulses, interviewing individuals described as connected to intelligence circles. This is not evidence, but people are asking why this content exists and why it matters now. There's the topic of Romanian Angels, a charity associated with Erika Kirk that was connected to foster children who later went missing. There is no trial-ready proof of wrongdoing, but suspicion exists, and some even claim she was banned from Romania. These claims may or may not remain unverified, but ignoring that people are discussing them does not make them disappear. One of the most serious claims circulating is the idea that Erika Kirk was planted as an asset, a handler for Charlie Kirk. That as soon as Charlie Kirk allegedly voiced intentions to distance himself from certain donors, it has been reported that's what put the plan in motion to eliminate the target. This claim is certainly highly controversial, but alone, if nothing else, is why people continue to talk about it. Lastly, recreating the canopy in which Charlie Kirk sat under when he was assassinated for stage photo ops? Maybe one of the worst judgment calls I have ever seen in my entire life. Whoever approved that idea either completely misread the moment or ignored basic human optics. If that decision came from Erika herself, then it should have been thought through all the way to the end, because recreating a moment tied to grief and violence for controlled imagery does not read as healing. It reads as performance, and the public reacts to that. If it was not her idea, then the person who suggested it should be fired right this second. This is not Monday morning quarterback. This is common sense. Tragedy is not a set. Tragedy is not a backdrop. And grief should never be curated like a brand shoot. Public trust is fragile. And when people see reconstructed scenes designed for cameras instead of authenticity, they don't feel comfort. They feel manipulation. That reaction is not cruel, it's human. This isn't about intent, it's about impact. And the impact of that decision was catastrophic. Here is the bottom line: public figures live in public when contradictions stack up and questions are met with hostility rather than transparency. Speculation grows louder, not quieter. Charlie Kirk himself said, "You better keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps us free." And that is exactly what people are doing, whether you agree with them or not. My dearest friends and fellow Americans, it's time for what I would have to say is probably one of my favorite segments, and that is your questions and comments from the jar. So, see what the jar has for us today. First question is from Vince. Vince asks, Joe, if Tyler Robinson is a patsy, where did they find him? I mean, A, I'm not saying he's a patsy, and B, that is a very good question. Where'd they find this young man? Really? I mean, I don't know. Here's my problem with just about everything now, including the Charlie Kirk assassination video, okay, is that now I have no idea what is or is not AI, okay? Tyler Robinson could be AI now, as far as we know, okay? I mean, it's just, I mean, is he a patsy? Is he Lee Harvey Oswald-ish? I mean, there is some eerie resemblance. And not only, some people say they kind of look alike, but I'm talking about just how this whole thing played out. It is very Lee Harvey Oswald-ish. And Lee Harvey Oswald, as you know, was, I guess it was alleged that he shot President John F. Kennedy in 1963. He was murdered by Jack Ruby prior to trial, so he was never convicted of the assassination of President Kennedy. However, again, kind of similar to Tyler Robinson, he was a young guy, he got arrested, was awaiting trial. But again, in this case, in 1963, Lee Harvey Oswald didn't make it that far. But one of the things that Lee Harvey Oswald said is, "I'm a patsy." So, naturally, I think just some folks figure, hey, maybe he's a patsy too. If I find out he's a patsy, I'll sure let you know. But no verified information about him being a patsy. So we just don't know. Next, we have Angela. Angela asks, Joe, do you personally think Erika Kirk is a government agent? That's the thing. I mean, I have to play the whole story. Okay, I got to play the whole story. She was placed in Charlie Kirk's life. Okay, what if Charlie Kirk liked brunettes? Okay. Now I understand that she was, figuratively speaking, Miss Universe, quite a lovely woman, a lovely young lady. And, now that she is a mother of two, still equally as lovely. Again, she gets Charlie Kirk to fall in love with her and then gets him to ask her to marry him and then has two of his children. I mean, I got to tell you, that is a dedicated agent right there. That is a dedicated handler. I call her Agent 0069. And then Charlie, goes rogue. He's not doing what Erika's boss, you might have to Google this, what chief or the chief agent of chaos, I guess, didn't think that Charlie was doing the right thing. So he had Erika plan the assassination. I mean, again, it 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 does sound a little strange, but there are people out there, and there are certainly reports that swear by it, that she is an asset placed in Charlie's life to be his handler. When he went rogue, she assisted in eliminating the target. That's what a lot of people think. And as always, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, I know there are a zillion podcasts, and you were kind enough to spend a little time with your pal Joe Rossano. We do appreciate it. Here on the Joe Rossano Show, as you know, we are unfiltered, unbiased, uncensored. This is the time where I kindly ask, please like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. Once again, don't forget to adopt a pet, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of The Joe Rossano Show.